Good afternoon and welcome to Radio Row. This is Friday here at Super Bowl 57 in Phoenix. And I did not know we were going to do this interview. And I'm excited to have my partner, Roy Kessel, bring over Ike from Ike's Lovin' Sandwiches. Ike has been out here all week feeding Radio Row. And it was kind of like this thing like, dude, why do you do this? This is a ton of people. I don't know how many thousands of people are here. Ike, how many sandwiches have you handed out this week?
Oh, what was over 1,000? Yeah, probably
Over a
over
thousand
1,000.
sandwiches.
Yeah.
Why?
Well, people love to eat, and I love to feed people. I know historically, Radio Row is not keen on having great food, and the sponsors, the food sponsors, are normally not that delicious. I'm not even gonna mention them. That's how like not delicious they are. But you have heard of them, so figured I'm out
Yeah.
here with my buddy Arash Markazi, and let's pass out some sandwiches and make some people happy and give out the love.
Yeah,
You
that's right. I Go ahead, Roy. Go ahead.
so I think, Ike, what really impressed me was when we first had a chance to sit down and, came over to talk to you about the sandwiches and talked about some of the work Sports Philanthropy Network is doing. The second I told you the name, you like snapped, you jumped into your wallet, grabbed out your business card, and we're talking about some of the financial programs and things that you've worked with. So I'd love to have you share that with our audience and talk about that type of work that you do.
Well, I believe that we need to teach people, not just young people, but it will definitely starts there, how the real world actually works. The reason why, if they can learn financial literacy, and it's not even financial literacy, it's not that they're illiterate. They've never been shown, and what they've been shown is actually the stuff that's going to keep them poor if they're poor, and keep them needing outside help if they're already in that space. Instead of, well, let's show you how to do it. And yeah, adults need it too. So I'm passionate about talking to kids. I'm passionate talking to adults about it. All of the above.
Ike, one of the things that I love when we're talking about these sandwiches is I was like, oh, yeah, I had the steak one with the spicy aioli, and it was like super, super, super great. And you're telling me the sports person that sandwich is named after. So you have a sports theme built into this as well, right?
Yeah, we've got a lot of athletes. Well, athletes love to eat too, and they eat a lot of sandwiches. So the one that you just had is the Madison Bumgarner sandwich, and him and I we designed it, uh, shoot, like a decade ago now. And that steak and a North Carolina style barbecue. Has got habanero, our secret dirty sauce on there, and cheese. And I love that. But we've done with other athletes, other singers. We've done a lot of things with a lot of people, and we do collabs. And then also just like the ideas that I have, the things that inspired me in my life,
And
philosophers, and
I love it. I love it. You are in what, 100-ish stores across the country?
yeah, we're in about 100 locations right about now, 6 states, and hopefully to be international and across the United States too.
I think that's a great vision. I want to ask you my burning question, right? So I live in Milwaukee. I'm a single mom. I have 8 kids. 40% of the kids that live in Milwaukee live in poverty. I'm committed to feeding families healthy food. I don't know if you're in Milwaukee, but I haven't seen a store there. I can't wait for you to get there. If you had $25,000 and I said, I go ahead and put this $25,000 into sandwiches for the community, where are you leaning in and creating impact from a philanthropic effort from your end?
Feeding people. So I was once food insecure. I was living off of $3 a day in food. And so I would love to feed people. It's probably what drives me to feed people now is I know how it is, and I know how important a tasty meal, a memorable meal, sharing a meal with someone, how important that is just for growth for the person, and but also for the relationship that you have when you're eating with someone else. And I would just feed people, like who needs to be fed, and let's feed them.
I
Yeah, it's
love
it's
it.
so important. I think as we talked about, Kayla was instrumental in setting up a financial literacy program on Monday at Tolleson High School here in Phoenix. And we had over 500 kids there with 10 athletes that told their stories, similar to what you were saying about being food insecure. They were telling their financial literacy struggles and things that they went through in their life. And just watching those kids and the attention that they gave the athletes, it was incredible to see the feedback from the athletes who speak at schools on a regular basis, telling us this was the best, most engaged group of students that they've ever seen, most polite, courteous. And we were able to partner for that event with Little Caesars Pizza. And again, watching these kids' eyes light up, this is a special treat for them. And those pizzas, flew out the door, right? They went through so quickly. And you talk about, for kids that don't, for students that don't have that opportunity to get something different, right? You talked about existing on $3 a day for yourself, right? That's not necessarily fun, right? That doesn't have the energy that your sandwiches have, the love and passion that you've put into your sandwiches. You can't go and find that for that type of budget. And so we can see, just watching you distribute this here this week, what really hit me was you didn't just come out, put out a table, stack up boxes and say, go grab whatever you want. Every person that came up, you were there individually having a conversation with them and asking them, like, hey, what do you like, what kind of thing, and you were telling them the story, right? Because as you said, the food is often as much and more about the story. So I really loved hearing about each of the sandwiches as you were uh, handing them out.
Well, it's all part of the whole reason why I do it. If I just wanted to feed people and didn't care about the love part, because we're love and sandwiches, you're right. I would have, well, maybe I would have paid somebody else out to pass out the sandwiches instead of be here myself. But I want to make sure the love is communicated and that the whole entire thing gets, it's like the whole entire pro, pro, product is the product, like the love part and the sandwiches part. If we just had the sandwiches, yeah, they're good. You might not tell everybody about it. If we just had the love part, well, then we'd just be giving hugs on the street. So let me open up a restaurant and feed everybody.
So I said this. I said, Ike, the secret sauce is the bread. I'm just going to do a shameless plug here for your restaurant. Guys, I'm not a sandwich person. If you know me, you know that I like soup and I like salad. These sandwiches are truly, on my word, on God, the best sandwiches I have ever had. The bread is the secret sauce, besides the secret sauce and the love. Um, where can I just ask? I know you said you're in a number of states. What states are you in right now?
So we're in California, northern and southern. We're in Texas. We're in Houston, Austin. We're in Vegas, Reno. So Nevada. We're in Utah, Salt Lake City, St. George, and then we're also in Colorado. We're in Denver.
Okay, and my other
No,
question,
Arizona, obviously, is where
Arizona.
we are.
All right, this is my final question for you. What's your favorite sandwich?
My favorite sandwich at Ike's is the Paul Rubens and the Madison Bumgarner, which is the one that you had. So the Paul Rubens,
We have good taste.
it, yeah, is the pastrami and purple cabbage slaw. It's a West Coast Reuben, so it's saucy and bread centric more so than the piles high as meat that you get on the East Coast. Those are my two favorite ones.
Okay, and I did think of one more thing that I probably should say. I This is a really short interview, right? But I'm sure that there are things that we probably should have asked you about your restaurant, your love, the elbow grease, everything that goes into it that we didn't. Is there anything that you want to share that really sets Ike's Love and Sandwiches apart from everyone else?
Well, you don't see too much love in things, and a lot of people speak to it that we're doing it at the 100 store level. Being able to go somewhere in 100 different locations and then get love and food, that's the thing. So what I would say, because I've seen that it can be done. So if you're out there and maybe it's a little bit goes on par with the financial literacy, if you do have your own business, whether it's a restaurant or some other type of thing, there's no difference from me in having one restaurant as there is having 100. It's just doing it 99 more times. So if you think, oh, I got one, and you don't know how to get to the second one or the third one, that's all stuff that you were taught and is not actually true. It's the same. For me to open up a restaurant 101 is the same as the first one. In fact, the hardest part was me deciding to start the first one. So the decision to start. See, if you're already in business, you've already done the hardest part. The hardest part was I'm going to quit my job or I'm going to go take a risk or whatever that was for you. So if you got one, you can. There's no reason why you can't have 1,000 other than you and you thinking that you can't have it because you can. I don't know what I'm doing and I have 100 restaurants. Like I don't know. So I would love for people to know that, and they would say you can't do this kind of love and connection on a grand scale. Well, I'm doing it. So they were wrong about that. They're wrong about the
That's
100 locations part. What else are they wrong about that they're teaching us about business or financial? Like probably everything.
Ike, we want to congratulate you. Hitting the 100 mark is fantastic. Even though you say that um, that's something that you do, that you've done. I think it's really important uh, to look at the way that you have accomplished that. Uh, Scaling is not necessarily the same, but as you said, it's doing the first one, doing it over. We encourage people to have that big vision and understand that they can make an impact. And the way that you make an impact is you start with one. You make that first one work, and then you learn along the way and you learn how to be more effective and make a greater impact. So we want to congratulate you. What I know we want to hear in time for next year's Super Bowl is what the Ike sandwich is going to consist of, and we want to have that be a special sandwich. But we're excited to collaborate with you and look at how we can work across the country with the different programs that we're involved with and help feed kids that don't have everything that they need. So, on behalf of Caleb Bradham, I'm Roy Kessel, Sports Philanthropy Network, thanking Ike and Ike's Love and Sandwiches for joining us on the show and for being such a gracious host here at Radio Row, Super Bowl 57 in Phoenix. Signing off, we want to remind all of our viewers and listeners to live generously. Thank you.